and gentlemen, welcome back to A Hoops Journey, episode 127. If you are still rolling with us to this day, thank you so much to our day ones. Don't forget to like and subscribe. As I was just talking with this young lady offline here before we started, the power of podcasts and sharing stories. I think it's so great that we have young people who are willing to step up on a Saturday morning for me, early afternoon for this guest, and share their story about life in hoops, knowing that there's still so much more basketball to go. But our plug on this one was the killer Silas Swords. So we appreciate her making the connection. We're sitting down with another young stud, an up-and-comer in the country, a Villanova commit, someone who's currently decided to stay in Ontario and play ball and not go out of province or out of country, which I think is something we'll touch on as well. A young killer, and we have another Miss Jasmine Bascoe with us today. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Like I said, feel like I've been sick since Christmas, but we'll get through it. You know, no one feels sorry for me, and my son still wakes up in the morning and is ready to wrestle. So life moves on. But how are things with you? I mean, give us an idea of where you're at. Right, we're late January right now, so season's kind of coming to that peak prime sort of moments. Where are you and your team at, and how are things looking as you move sort of towards what would be considered probably playoff time or whatever it is with your season?
Yeah, so I think if you look at my team now, we've definitely kind of rose since the beginning of the year. So we're definitely at a good point right now. We have 3 more OSB games left until playoffs, and I believe playoffs are like the last week of February. So we're getting there. Obviously, I think we have a couple or one more US tournament too. So season's almost over, but we're just trying to go out with the bang and finish it off well. So 3 more games, trying to, play those and win those and push through those. And then as time goes, hopefully get a good seed for playoffs, and then playoffs start soon. So we're really on like the last stretch of the season.
Yeah. And it's I don't know how you feel, as I'm just assistant coaching this year, but I've been head coaching my high school team for a long time. And this time of year is always that the good teams are able to kind of put their head down and still find practice as an opportunity to grow and get better. And I think kind of the average teams are like, oh man, it's been a grind. This is a long season. And I think, what's your approach being a leader on your team and probably being one of the better players? Do you notice some of the girls going through that hitting that wall a bit, or is the eye on the prize still and you have a highly motivated group?
I think right now our eyes are definitely on the prize. We just came off from the Christmas break. We practiced over the break. But we also had our time to rest and kind of take our time away from each other. So we've had our time apart, and now we're back, and we've been going at it hard in the gym. Our practices have been looking great. So I think we're all really excited for like what's coming up, especially because like this is my last year playing high school, obviously. So yeah. I mean, I'm trying to cherish every moment and trying to make this a good way to leave. But yeah, we're going strong, and we always have that focus. Like our thing at Kings is like we always play every game like it's our last. So we're always pushing, and we're always looking forward to the next game. So obviously playoffs are coming up, but right now we have a game on Monday, so that's what we're thinking about right now. So we're not looking too far ahead, but we have that in the back of our minds that's what our like main goal is.
You guys have practice tomorrow, Sunday?
Not tomorrow, no.
Yeah,
we don't.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, we went hard this week.
Okay, yeah. See, our league is Monday, Wednesday too, and it's hard because it is the grind of the season. And so some days we'll practice on a Sunday, but it's also, like you mentioned, you giggled a little bit. We had our time away from each other. That's also healthy too, to just sort of have that break away from each other. But, it's that paranoia as a coach of like, we haven't practiced and we're going into a game sort of without any reps. But, your coaches know what they're doing. So awesome. Let's get right into it. So tell us, obviously you're still young, right? You've got lots of hoops ahead of you, but tell us about yourself growing up as a young person, kind of what sports you did and why basketball sort of separated itself from everything else for you.
For sure. So my parents met playing basketball at the University of Guelph in Ontario.
Okay.
And then my brother was born. He's 4 years older than me. So by the time he was like 4 and I was born, he was playing basketball. My dad was coaching. My mom was coaching. So I was kind of born into it in a way.
Yeah.
And so my dad was coaching like university girls, and I was like riding my tricycle around the gym. Like I was always there. And then by the time I was 4, I started like playing, house league. I'd like train with my dad a bit, but it was unserious. Like it wasn't, I was 4. But so I've always known basketball. I grew up around basketball. Everyone in our circle was like someone involved with basketball. And so as like I went into elementary school, my brother played, my mom coached my brother, my dad coached my brother. I was just playing. I played on Hamilton Transway from like, I did house league from like, I want to say senior kindergarten, but I started rep in grade 2. And so I played basketball forever. And then along with that, I was playing soccer. So that's probably why me and my brother both played soccer. It's a pretty common thing, I feel like, for basketball players to play soccer when they're younger too.
Sure.
So yeah, lots of soccer. I loved soccer so much. Like around grade 6 is when my parents said, okay, you have like 8 practices a week. You need to just like pick what you're doing. We're going here and there, here and there. Like you need to decide. And so obviously like I said, I love soccer a lot, but because of how much basketball impacted my life, like growing up, then it was the obvious choice in a way. And like my best friends, I play basketball with my best friends. So I wasn't willing to give that up. So I stopped playing soccer around grade 6, and then it's been basketball ever since. I swam and did dance in between all those things, but like nothing major. It was always just kind of basketball and soccer for me.
Got you. Okay. So I didn't want to be like the Canadian, like, do you know Steve from Alberta question, but like, are you somehow related to Shane Bascoe?
That may or may not be my dad.
Okay. Cause I was doing research last night. Okay. So like, the why, man. Okay. So I was an All-Canadian the same year your dad was Player of the Year.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I played at Langara. He got Player of the Year. That was my Player of the Year. Where's your dad? Get him in the room right now. Call him. No, I'm just kidding.
He's at a gym.
Is he? And then I kind of like, I was like, okay, like she doesn't need to know, but I'm like, what are the chances? Like Hooper, Basco. I'm reading about your dad last night, and I'm like, I can't find a connection online that says that, like, to confirm it. And then you're like, Guelph, and I'm like, yo, this is it. This is for real, for sure. Now we never matched up against each other. I think the year he was Player of the Year, his team didn't make nationals.
No.
Yeah,
I don't think,
yeah, we did, and we won. So you can let him know. But yeah, that is hilarious. Wow. See, and this is one thing we've talked a lot, Jasmine, about on the show is just sort of like, and I'm sure you're feeling that now that you've had an opportunity to play for Canada as well, is like, it's a big basketball world, but it really is not. Like the layers
not
are really
all.
small. You know what I mean? Like and I'm sure you felt that. And you talking about going from being the little kid on the trike to, you growing up now, and some of these women that your dad coached, you might see in your community now. And it's like, it's really not, it's only so many degrees of separation. That might or might not be my dad. She says, that's awesome. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Cool. So, yeah, tell your dad I said what's up. Tell him Aaron Mitchell was the host, and we got to get him. We got to get him on, man.
Yeah,
he's an OG right there. Yeah. So okay. So obviously, like you've touched on basketball, huge thing, right? You mentioned mom and dad meeting at university, and sort of, and it's interesting. You talk about being 2 and playing Hamilton Transway already, right? My son's in grade 2. Sorry, not 2, grade 2, and I'm like, he's into basketball, but he's not, and he's starting to come to practice. And I want him to figure it out for himself. But it seems like for whatever reason, you're just into it right away. Did you feel that pressure from mom and dad, or was it just something that was natural because you were around it and you just like competition, and with that and soccer, you just enjoyed what came with sport?
I would say at first it was 100% natural. Like having an older brother, I was always super competitive and things like that. But as I got older, my parents realized I didn't really seem like I wanted to play basketball. It was more like I wanted to be around my friends. My best friends were on the team. They're twins. They're on my team. So I wanted to go and see them every other day. And that's what and I loved basketball my whole life, and I obviously still do. But my parents always kind of saw that in me, and I wouldn't agree with them, but they know me well. So they're like, are you sure you want to play basketball, or is this just go and have fun with your friends? And so they said to me all the time, like, if you don't want to play, like, we're not going to be mad. We're not going to be upset. And, but at the same, I was like, no, I promise I want to play. I promise I want to play. Like, I was always kind of pestering it. But as I got like around grade 6, I actually told my dad, I don't want to train with you anymore, because that's when we started to get really serious. And I was like, this is too much. I don't want to do this. It's every day. It's like, this is it's not what I want. And then the year after that, I was like, you know what? like now that I've missed training with my dad for a year, I was like, something's wrong. Like this doesn't feel right. So I got back in the gym with him. And then at that point is kind of when I started separating myself from the pack, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And that's when I really started to like excel as a player. So I think that year that I stopped training with my dad was like really big for me because I was just playing rep, but not really doing anything outside of the translate practices. And I kind of realized how I said to him, I was like, how come everyone's as good as me now? And he was like, hey, you asked not to train. It's not on me. So I was like, I got to get back in the gym. So that was definitely like something that kind of reminds me all the time too. Like I have to keep putting in those extra hours if I want to be who I want to be.
And that's cool that you had that perspective from, level-headed parents, right? Understanding that like it has to really come from you because, I'm sure deep down your dad's probably like, I hope she gets into hoops and she wants it. But really dragging you to the gym does no good.
Exactly.
If you don't want to be there, you don't want to be there. And that's a good reflection in terms of realizing also like at a young age, I don't know how many grade sixes are out there going like, well, everyone's getting better. And like, so, but then also realizing that you have an opportunity, you have a guy who's got keys to a gym 24/7 and all you need to do is go with him. And what's dad's approach there? So you're going to training and things like that. Um, is it like conversations in the car? Does he give you space and wait for you to come to him? Like, how does that work? What's that dynamic like? Very similar with Sila, who you know well, right? Her dad was a hooper, and just sort of working through that relationship and making sure that it's a healthy one. How did you guys work through that?
Yeah. So when I was younger, he kind of has like his training. So it was kind of just like I knew I was going. It wasn't really like an option for me because he trained other kids as well. So I was
Right.
just a part of that.
Sure.
But as I got older and it just became more of the one-on-one type of thing, it was like if he had a gym available, he would come ask me, do you want to train? And I was like, yeah, I do. And then I used to hate training one-on-one because we would butt heads sometimes because we're both pretty like strong personalities. But I've grown to love it. Like now I don't even like
Listen,
training in groups. I love training by
I
myself.
picked up on your personality like 30 seconds in. I'm like, this girl is on one. She's ready. I'm like, there is no intimidation. Your body language. I'm like, she's ready. Being younger, you just, I work, I'm a high school teacher, right? So you kind of see all day and I'm like, nah, she's ready. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I had to point that out. Like I picked
Oh,
up
of
on it right
course.
away. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think
But
is dope. I
yeah.
love it. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. But no, for sure. So he would always just, come to me. Oh, I have a gym, want to go. And it's always early in the morning. So he knew I was like, yeah, but I have to wake up at like 5 a.m. But kind of as I've grown, it's more been like, he knows I'll go anytime there's a gym. He doesn't have to ask me. He'll just be like, we're going this time because I'm not going to say no. But at the same time, if I want to go, I can be like, you want to go this time? You want to go this time? Or if I'm like sore, tired, I feel like I need rest. And I say, oh, I'll just take this one day off and we'll go tomorrow. Like it's very flexible because it's like I'm doing so much throughout the week that if we have the gym time and I'm going to take it, we're going to go. But if I need that rest, it's not like I'm trying to avoid basketball. It's just like my body needs a break. So we've definitely found like the healthy balance between making sure we're still getting in the gym, but also like taking that rest time and knowing when it's a little too much.
Yeah, yeah, sure. That's good. So grade 7, you find yourself being pretty competitive with the sport, really getting into it. When did you start to notice and kind of feel that their eyes were heading in your direction? I mean, obviously, place like Ontario, so many great basketball players too, right? And you're not the only one, but there must have been a time where you started to feel yourself separate from, like you already mentioned, the pack a little bit. And um, when did you start to think, well, you know what, post secondary is also something I want to, earmark and think about those things?
hmm So for post secondary, that was like, I want to say maybe grade 4 or 5, only
Okay.
because, Kia Nurse played for Transway. And so like growing up, I was like, I'm playing for Transway. Kia played for Transway. I'm going to go to UConn. I want to do just what Kia did. And I used to like go to her games all the time. So I always knew like I wanted to do it. I don't know if it's because Kia did it or because I actually wanted to at the time, but
Sure.
it was always like a thought.
I absolutely
But
love that. I love that.
yeah.
I love that there's women in Canada that people like yourself when you're young can look up to, because it wasn't always the
hmm
case. It wasn't always the case
Yeah.
of, you know, some amazing baller, right? And I think that's so fantastic. And the path that Kia has paved for so many is
hmm
fantastic. So that's a great shout out. Sorry. Yeah, keep going.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, that like post secondary has always been kind of something floating through my mind. But
Mhm.
I would say in my grade 8 year, our transway team was like undefeated. we were getting ready for junior NBA, for OBA playoffs. We were just like steamrolling everyone. So that's when we kind of had the eyes on us, because now we're older too. It's about to be high school.
Yeah.
But then we got hit with COVID. So we didn't get to go to junior NBA. We didn't get to have the OBA playoffs, nothing. And so everything kind of just went quiet. And then obviously for grade 9, I went to Kings. But people don't even know I went to Kings in grade 9 because we didn't even play. They're like, oh, you've been here all 4 years? I was like, yeah, just didn't have any games.
Yeah.
And then grade 10 was definitely the time when it was like, eyes are on me now. Because our team we went 27-0 until our final playoff game. We sent 8 seniors to the US. We were just, we were a pretty dominant team. And unfortunately, one of our players, Abby Jegede, who's actually at Villanova now, she tore her ACL. So I needed to step up and have a bigger role being in grade 10. And so as I stepped up, that's when more people started to like notice me. And then the OSBA playoffs was like kind of a breakthrough for me, even though obviously we came second. I just, something happened in my mind and I just started, I was balling out. So that's when I kind of like got a little more recognition, especially after the break from COVID. But I'd say that was definitely it.
If you're a basketball player out there in the Lower Mainland or BC in general, and you're looking for somewhere to play, we have a proud sponsor, and that is PGC Hoops. You can find them at pgchoops.ca. And the thing that makes them unique and that we're proud to sponsor them and them be a sponsor of us is it's a true nonprofit basketball organization found in the east side of Vancouver. The mission is cost-effective elite basketball for all. Find the website, take a look, register your kids, register yourself, look for the programs. And if you have any questions, reach out to me and we can contact you with the right people. This is a good program for the right reasons. We appreciate you, PGC Basketball.
Just want to pause right there. Tell us, like, give me some insight, obviously being a teacher and dealing with COVID and seeing the impact on kids. How was that for you? How were you able to sort of work through everything? I mean, it's a lot to go through. It was hard for me as a 40-year-old man, right? And just, obviously having basketball being taken away and your gym is your sanctuary and then not being able to compete and then dealing with everything, you're trapped at home. And what was that like, from a young person's perspective, and how were you able to sort of have a healthy mind about it and move forward?
Yeah. So my parents are really big on this is what we're faced with. Let's make sure we're still living life kind of. So they had us doing school and things like that. And then every day we had to do something active. So whether it was biking or going outside to a outdoor basketball court. So my dad, me and him and my brother was home. So we would bike and go to the elementary school basketball rims. And then we'd go back the next day and we'd see the rims are gone or there's a trash bag over the rim. So they really didn't want us out. So now we're going to community parks and there's cops there monitoring the rim. So we can't even go there. It's like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? So we buy a rim from Home Depot and I build it because I had nothing to do. So now we have our own rim. And then slowly the gym started opening. So we were in the gym every day once you could kind of have your little private time, wearing a mask or whatever. But so my parents definitely made sure we were, staying in touch with school, basketball, and also obviously having that time to relax. It's COVID. You don't really have anything to do, but no, we made sure we stayed in the gym the whole time. So honestly, I can say from my perspective, COVID wasn't really anything that, took a toll on me too much, just because I was also 15 years old. There wasn't really anything going on in my life, but I mean, It was, I saw it as a time to relax. I did half of grade 8 and then school was optional. So I wasn't really doing anything.
And what do you like? Do you like school? Are you mad?
I love school.
You do?
I
love
love school.
Cool.
Yeah.
What are you going to study?
I'm going into communications. So I'm hoping to get into sports broadcasting, things like that.
Nice.
Although I love school and I love science and stuff, I'm not very good at it. So science isn't my best subject. So I'm not really going into anything over there.
Yeah. Got you.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the growth mindset and the ability to sort of just look at, all right, this is what we're dealing with. Let's make the best of our situation. And you get out of COVID and you've touched on having a big year and, stepping up after teammates go down. What's it like? What's a practice like when you have 8 girls that are going to the US? Those must be some pretty intense. I mean, is there a game or a team that can compare to that? You almost literally have 2 full squads of,
Yeah.
post-secondary players, right? That must be pretty intense. Yeah.
The practices were great. They were like high intensity. We obviously we had our 5 starters, but then also the girls coming off the bench were also like it's not like we were an uneven team. Like we were a deep team. So our practices were definitely
when you can go after the starters? Like you're like
100%.
And then they get so pissed off and you're like, yes, we're under their skin. This is great, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so my older coach at Kings, he's done now, but Zelmir, he was also a really competitive guy too. So he was kind of in our ear while we're going against each other. And so we're going at each other full speed. Like it was so great. And I was 2 years younger than like every single girl on the team except for one. So it was also like great. It was a great learning experience for me. And they talked me through it. We had some 5th years too. So it was just great to see like this is the level these girls are at right now. And I'm fortunate to be playing with them, but they're about to move on. So I'm seeing what they're doing before they go away to college and university. And it just helped me grow a lot as a player and as a person. They're all great people.
Yeah, it'd be a waste to have those people around you and not take something away from them, right? Like, what an opportunity to not only compete at them every day and with them, but to also take note of the things that they're doing and the good and bad, right? Like, oh, I like that, but maybe not that so much. I'll put that one away, right? And I think that's how we learn from people. That's great. So what's the next step? Did you play provincial team? Did you stay with like your AAU stuff? Like as you move forward, what's the play in the off season for you?
Yeah, so I actually never had the opportunity to play for like Teamo or anything. I never played on the provincial team. So my route was kind of just straight to national team.
So you didn't try out, or you're too busy, or you just had straight national team and there was no opportunity to do both?
I did try out in grade 8, but that's like same thing, COVID. So there was nothing.
Right.
But I don't know how that would have gone, but yeah, so nothing with that. I've done AAU since like grade 5. My translate team made our own little team called Elite, and we would go to like all the same tournaments. And then once I hit U15 or U14, actually is when I started with Kia Nurse Elite. So I played, 14, 15, 16, 17, all 4 years with Kia Nurse Elite. And that was great. That's how I like really met Sila, other than just playing against her, Toby, Delaney. It was just a great way to like, that really helped me grow as a player too, and just being around them as well. So AAU has always been like travel ball, and then into like UIBL has always been something that I've done. And it's probably like one of my favorite parts of the year. Like I love it so much.
You get the opportunity to be around like Toby, Sila, the players that maybe have the same mind frame and goals as you. Are there conversations about that? Or is it just sort of like, hey, I get that we're all kind of the same here in terms of, you know what I mean? Or are you talking about those things? Like what's the perspective there?
I would say when we were younger, we never really talked about it that much because we were 15, 16 years old. But once we all kind of committed
or whatever,
Exactly. Yeah. But once we all we committed and we were all at senior camp together in BC, that was when we really we would talk, talk basketball, talk those things. But then at the same time, because we're playing basketball all day, every day, like those two they're honestly I love them so much. They're like my best friends. I can talk to them about anything. We send each other funny videos all the time. We're always making fun of each other. Like a lot of the time we're just like joking around and just having some average dandy conversation. So yeah, we do. We get into it with each other. We talk about that stuff, but at the same time, we just joke around all the time.
That's awesome. I love that. Do you see yourselves as the future for Canada women's basketball? Like, are you excited about having the opportunity to grow with those, women and be the senior team in the future?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of what my route's been. I've been kind of implemented with the senior team practices and training camps just so I can kind of gain some experience. So when it is my turn, I'm ready for it. And then Sila's playing with them. Toby was at the camp as well when I was there. So they're definitely, giving us little tastes and little dabbles of what it's like. So when we get to that level, it's like, yeah, you guys are ready. Let's go and play. So I think that's definitely a focus for all 3 of us, and probably something that the national team has in mind. And so we just have to keep, growing with that. But I mean, it'll be amazing when all 3 of us can play together on that team. I'll be that's a massive goal of mine.
Yeah. And I think that's such a smart play by them, right? We just had yesterday released our episode with Steve Bauer, right? The coach of the women's
Yep.
program. And I think that's such a smart thing so that when the opportunity does arise for people like yourself, that it's not as overwhelming or as big. But then you also see these women who have been doing it, right? The Kaylas, the Kias, like that. I don't know if you had the opportunity to meet Kim Smith yet, but those people that have done it, and then it gives you something to shoot for, which I think I love that succession thought of the women's program. That's fantastic. How did it feel to finally get the opportunity to put the maple leaf on your chest and wear the jersey? I mean, it must have been a pretty special moment, and to think about all the effort and time and energy you've put in, like you've talked about, doing the boring stuff, the 5 a.m.s, and then you're literally representing your country, which is not something many people get the opportunity to do.
Yeah, no, that was like the craziest time for me. And it was kind of funny how it happened too, because I was invited to, so this was 2 years ago, I was invited to the U17 Worlds camp. So me, Sila, Toby, we were all there together. And I went to the first camp, left. So they normally do like the first camp, you get a break, and then you'll do the second camp when you go away. So I went to the first camp, and then Steve was like, he messaged me and my dad. He's like, can I get on a Zoom call with Jasmine? I was like, oh my goodness. Like, is he going to tell me I didn't make it? Like,
Yeah.
I was so close. So I'm leaving practice, and then I get on the Zoom call, and Steve's like, so we actually want you to move up to the U18 team for Americas. Like, are you okay with that? And I was like, what? Yes. Like, oh my gosh, for sure. So he's like, we're not guaranteeing you a spot on the team. Like, you still have to come to the camp and, earn it. But they wanted to move me up a level. So I went to the U18 camp. It was super competitive. There was like me and two other point guards that were kind of going at each other in the camp. Mm-hmm. And then I managed to make the team. So that was like, it was amazing. We did our media day, and, you see your last name on the jersey, and it's like, oh my gosh, like Canada and Bosco on the same jersey. Like, that's so cool. And so that was definitely surreal for me. Like, I was sending all the videos and pictures to my family group chat. My dad was so excited. He was like posting it on Instagram, and it was just like, it was something I've always dreamed of. Like, the Olympics is like the biggest goal of mine. And you kind of have to remember, like, there's steps to get there. So this was like, I feel like the first step was complete. And then we went to Americas, and we lost the US by 4, which is like the closest Canada's like ever been to them. So it was obviously until like the men's just recently. But so that was like the coolest, like, it was the best way to do it. It was my first time, and it was like amazing. It was so cool.
Mm-hmm. And I think you realize that, like, when your dad and mom and myself were your age, there was no Canada. I mean, and no disrespect, like, we weren't on the map like we were on both men's and women's side, right? And how cool it is that's something that young athletes have something to look forward to and look up to, right? And shoot for. It used to just be make your provincial team, and then I don't know, if you got invited to like a student games or something, but now it's like it's there, it's tangible, and I think it's so cool. And I can only imagine what those experiences were like, and how exciting it must be to think about. It must be hard to just sort of stay in the moment, and because you think about Olympics, like 4 years, it's a long time. It's so much can happen, but also knowing that, like, hey, if we can do this and stay together, like, we might be able to really, really do it,
Yep.
That's dope.
It's so cool. And you build a family. Like, all those girls that I've played with the past 2 years now, like, they're all in college. They're in their second year of college. And it's just like so cool to see them. Like, I'll rush home from practice and turn on the TV and watch like Lamaya play. And I'm like, wow, like, this is so cool. Like, you're on Miami, and 2 years ago we were just playing I was playing against you in the OSBA. So it's just like, just things like that, where it's like, it's just, you kind of see yourself in them. Like, this is where I hope to be in 2 years. And we were all together, and it's like, that they're handling their business, but at the same time, like, we're all representing our country. So it's just something it's so cool. It's so great.
Amazing. Glad we were able to touch on that. Now you talk about these women who are playing university and stuff. How did you come to your decision and figure out that Villanova was the right fit for you? Obviously, with each year going forward, getting into your junior and senior years, lots of attention, probably lots of offers. How does one go about figuring out what to do and how to go about it, and what's the right fit? Because I'm sure, sometimes I don't know what your take is. Like, you get someone who you're just like, well, I know this person's on this call for the wrong reasons, or was it a connection? Was it was it a family decision? Interested
Yeah.
to know how you came to that choice.
Yeah. So, yeah, as my offers came, it was more, I handled it more privately. I was never,
Yeah.
posting my offers or anything like that. It was kind of just my family knew it was going
to
on.
receive an offer from.
Yeah, no, none of that, none of that. I have like
Did you
a
like
list
the
in my
recruiting?
notes.
Did you like the
Oh, I
process, or was
loved
it?
it.
You did,
Yeah,
okay. So like a
I
random
loved it. It
coach
was
picks
really
up the
cool.
phone and is like, "Hi, how are you, Jasmine?"
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You're okay with it. I mean, you seem like a pretty outgoing person, right? Yeah, I could see
hmm
you just being like, "Yeah, what's up?" And sort of like. But anyways, I just was.
I mean, there's
Yeah,
always times where it can get overwhelming because there's like
sure.
you can have like 8 coaches like, "Hey, I want to get on a call today," and you're like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
just
on the
watch some
phone
Netflix.
all
Yeah,
day." Yeah, so it's like, but that's what comes with it. Like you just have to appreciate those small things. But
sure.
yeah, but I kept it pretty private. If my friends like were wondering, it's not like I wasn't going to tell them, but I wasn't flaunting anything around. So my
Mhm.
family obviously knew, but as my process was like 2 years, right? So as it went on, kind of just took everything slowly. I took my time, and as it got closer to, I didn't know exactly when I wanted to commit, but I knew, I was my plan was to do it before U17 EYBL, just so I could kind of go and play that last summer and not have too much to think about. And a tip that
Sure.
I got was like, even if you didn't commit before U17, but you got your dream school while you were there, you only have like a month to really get to know them before like you have to commit. Where the other schools you've been talking to them for years, so it's different.
Mm.
So that's why I didn't feel pressured to like wait until EYBL was over because like, well, obviously I committed to Villanova way before that. Like I knew where I wanted to go, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it was just, looking into the schools, watching them play, seeing what the playing style is like, going on visits. I only went on 2 official visits, so I didn't really try and, see all these things. Like I went to Villanova on an unofficial, and then I went on an official, and I was like, oh my God, I love it here. Like this is everything I wanted. I love it so much. Then I went on a second official to Marquette, and I was like, this was really great too. Same conference, like, wow, this is tough. But I feel like in the back of my mind, I always knew Villanova was the place for me. I mean, the coaches are amazing. The girls, the players, they're great. Like they're so amazing. The school is everything I wanted. Even just like the campus is beautiful. Like it kind of just felt like home. I know a lot of people say that, but it's like, obviously there's a lot of thinking that had to go into it, but at the same time, no. Like I'd look on that list and Villanova would just be like standing out in my face. Like I kind of just
Mm.
knew. So I've never like regretted it or like second guess. I was like, no, this is where I want to go. I'm so happy with this decision, and I committed in March, so I had plenty of time to like play EYBL with no stress or anything. Like it was great, and I'm so
Mhm.
happy I chose Villanova. Like I can't wait to go.
That's dope. Was there a certain coach that connected with you, that was drawn to you as well, or did they have a bunch of different coaches, or is it kind of just one or two people that you were, connecting with throughout the process?
So the first one, so like I said, my teammate Abby from King, she went to Villanova. So they
Mhm.
saw me playing when I was in grade 10 when I was playing with her, but they can't reach out to you at that age.
Right.
So they knew who I was, but it wasn't like, it's not like I was talking to them at that time.
Hmm.
Then Coach T, one of the assistants, reached out to me and I was like, oh my gosh. But they do a great job. Like they have their 4 coaches and they'll each reach out to you, message you, call you, keeping up with you. Like it's not like I only talk to one coach.
Mm.
Obviously, my first message was from Coach T, one of the assistants, but I've talked to all 4 of the coaches like religiously. Like all of them reach out, all of them catch up. So yeah, it doesn't feel like just this one coach. Like no, it's a whole family type of thing. So I love it.
Sure. And it seems like, I mean, obviously, when you land in those first few days, there'll be some nerves, but it seems like there's not a lot of fear. It's just like all your experiences that you've been through traveling with basketball, being on the road, seems like you're pretty excited about that next phase of your life. And just that's a wild guess based on the grin on your face right now.
No, I'm so excited. Everyone says make sure you cherish your like high school life too. So I'm not trying to like speed through this, but I
Mhm.
can't wait to go. Like I'm always thinking about it. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I tell the kids at our school, I just say, like, I want your high school experience to be great, but if I see you when you're 30 and you say high school is the best time of your life, like I'm gonna slap you up the head. Like university and post secondary is just the best. And when you get an opportunity to play athletics, it's even better. It's elevated even more, right? And I think that's the power of sport too, is, some people might be nervous, but now that the minute you get on campus, you've got 12 to 13 other girls with you, right? That you
Yeah.
may not become best friends with everybody. You at least you got some sisters that'll be there and you got each other's back, right? Which also makes it, I don't know, just a little bit more calming, I guess. Is
Mhm.
there a basketball residence, or are you going to be in residence by yourself? Like, is the team situated together? What's that like?
Yeah, so yeah, the girls live together, so I'm pretty sure me and the two other freshmen are gonna all be together. And it's a nice big room. Like it's gonna be
Yeah.
great. So it's not like we're gonna be crammed in one small space together. Like we have our
Yeah.
space, but we're definitely gonna be together for our first year at least. So it's gonna be fun. And the two other recruits that are going to be, like, I've spoken to both of them and they're really nice, and they both play obviously high level in the US. So I
Yeah.
can't wait to finally meet them in person too.
What's that team room like? Nice.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah.
They have like a room on this side and a room
Yeah.
on the other side, and two people per room. And then there's like a kitchen connecting on the hall, and then
Yeah.
there's a living room in the middle of them. So there's lots of
Nice.
space. It's pretty spacious.
Do they do any do they have a big tournament that they go to? Like, do they go overseas or do they go to Hawaii or something? Is there one on that you've got dotted? You're like, I can't wait for that.
Well, every team does, like, every 4 years they go on like their global trip or like foreign trip or whatever. And
Okay.
I'm pretty sure this year is theirs. I'm pretty sure they're going to Italy. So freshman year, Italy. I'm pretty sure that's where I'm going.
Nice. There we go. You
Yep.
just timed it right.
Yep.
That is awesome. I love it. I love it. So what's, what's the future goal for you? Is it to make some money playing some hoops, no matter where that ends up? Like, have you thought about that part? Obviously, you're still super young. I don't want to jump too far forward for you, but we're starting to, like you said, high school's coming to an end, and then we're stepping into the high level Division 1. Is there another goal for you towards the end? I mean, we talked about senior women's national team and Olympics.
Mhm.
Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit more about that before we do find out what your favorite cereal is.
So yeah, Olympics for sure. That's like the
Mhm.
biggest. And then my goal, I would love to play overseas. Like that's just been something that I've loved to do. And my family, we've been so busy growing up. My dad's also a teacher and my mom's busy with work. So we're not the type of family that gets to travel a lot. So I'd
Mhm.
love to use basketball as a way to obviously play and do what I love, but also see other parts of the world. I think that's like, if I could think about myself in the future, I see myself like in Australia, like Potter is right now, and just loving life, but also playing basketball. Like that, I would be perfectly fine with that.
Now, did you take the opportunity when you were with the senior team? Did you ask any of the women about that stuff, or did you just sort of listen in on the conversations? Like,
Yeah. Oh, they're always talking about it with each other, even if we
Mhm.
weren't asking. Just like, oh, where are you signing to? Oh, this. So we would sit back, listen, ask
Yeah.
questions if we were curious. But I mean, I didn't even know, like, it's contract to contract to contract. Like
Yeah, it's wild, right?
they're short. Yeah. So I just learned a lot about that, and they were telling me, oh, like you can really play anywhere if they want you. Like you can really go anywhere you want. So it's like, if they want you to go, but so it's like it was just crazy how it's like it's not just you're going to like play in Italy or play in Australia. Like you could play anywhere. You could go to Japan if you wanted to and play. So it's like, I think that's so cool. And that's something like I'm looking forward to. Even though it's a while away, I'm still excited for that.
Whatever you're doing right now, listening at work, rolling in your whip, going for a walk, whatever it is, hang on for a sec. You like jerseys? You like stance socks? You like throwback? You like shoes? You like anything related to basketball? Hit up ATOB Ball. And if you're not able to be there in store at Langley Event Center, check them out on the web. And I guarantee you'll find something you like. Give us a mention and you'll never know. Shout out to our boy Jeff. ATOB Ball for life.
Hey, you got a good global perspective. You've been parented well. It's pretty obvious. And that idea of getting to hoop, but also taking advantage of being in another part of the world. I had a good buddy who played in Switzerland. We went when Vancouver hosted the Olympics in 2010. So my wife and I were dating, but we went over to Switzerland to visit my buddy. And he had like never really left Switzerland. And I'm like, dude, you got France, you got like,
Yeah, you
you're
gotta
like,
go.
you just, yeah, they're not even like, you just crossed the border. Like we would drive into France to get groceries because it was cheaper. There's nobody at the border checking passports. We got on the train. Like my wife and I went to Paris, and I'm like, you got to take advantage. Like, he was hurt. So we drove down, and we went through like the largest tunnel, one of the largest tunnels in the world through the Swiss Alps. And
Wow.
we were almost in Italy within 3 hours. I'm like, dude, what
What?
do we? Yeah, yeah. All the signs were in Italian, but we were
That's so
still in
cool.
Switzerland. Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, whatever.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, you're missing out here. But anyway, that's his perspective.
Yep.
But I would have done it different. But hey, sounds like you've got some plans, which is great.
Yeah.
Last question before we do the little spitfire at you here. What's the plan in the off season? So high school comes to the end. Is there a EYBL that you'll be playing for? Is it jumping into national team stuff? What's the plan for kind of after spring break?
So yeah, EYBL is done for me now. No more of that, sadly. I mean, it's amazing, but
So
I'm too old now.
you're not going to play U18 and dominate some 14-year-olds or
No,
anything like that? No.
nah, I'm all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so season ends. I think so. Actually, Team Canada, I think we're getting together around the end of April. So
Okay.
there's about 2 months of, I'm just getting lots of training. I'm going to be in the weight room a lot. I got to get a bit stronger before I go to school. So lots of that'll just be more one-on-one type of work. And then Team Canada will start up in April, go into like May and June. And then after that, it's to Villanova. So
Yeah.
it's
When do you have to be
kinda,
on campus? August? Or is it like right
I
away,
don't,
July? Yeah.
we haven't gotten our exact date yet, but
Okay.
they do the summer like preseason training. So it'll be probably from Team Canada, like right around that time.
Yeah, and I think they start school a little bit earlier in the States too, right?
Yeah.
It's pre Labor Day. Yeah, yeah.
hmm
Your dad ever just check up every now and then and give you a possession of one-on-one, or is he like, nah, I'm done?
Sometimes when we're training, I'll be like, let's go play. But he's like, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. He's
Smart
past it.
man. Likes the
Me
Achilles.
and my brother maybe sometimes, but yeah, my dad's not taking the risk.
No, man. We need our Achilles attached. Did your brother hoop? Did your brother hoop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's at Bucknell University. It's also in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It's about an hour from Villanova too, or like an hour and a half. So I'll be close to him.
Oh, that's cool.
So that'll be great. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. I love it. All right. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, good. Like I said, we've had a variety of ages. You and Sileb for sure the youngest. So I'm loving, I can't wait to hear the perspective here. Let's get right into it. What's the greatest bag of chips out there? You're having, it's a quiet family movie night. We're pulling up the blanket, but we got some snacky stuff. What are we getting?
All right. I'm doing a mix of two. I'm doing Miss Vicky's salt and vinegar with sweet chili heat Doritos.
Like in the same bowl?
Yeah. Dump them up. Not mix them together, but I need two. I can't just have the one. Yeah.
Wow. I just need a timeout here. Wow. That is a take and a half.
Do you like salt and vinegar?
You do, hey?
I love it. I love it.
And the Miss Vicky's, the crunch is so good, right?
Oh, yep. So good.
Okay. And sweet chili, low-key underrated chip too. Yeah.
Those are so good.
And then is it water? Or is it
Well, if there's a drink, it's root beer if I have the option. But in my house, we don't really buy that stuff, so I got water.
She said, whoa, you didn't tell me there was a drink option here. Root beer. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. One of the things I'm most happy about is that my son hates pop. Like he had a movie night at school and was like, Dad, I get to have a pop. We're like, yeah, sure. And we got to the movie, he had his hot dog, his popcorn, and then he got his pop and he sipped it and he was just like, oh, and we were like, okay, good. Well, for now, we don't have to worry about battling pop in the house. So that's good.
That's like me with candy. I don't like candy, so.
You don't?
No, I love chocolate, but candy, no.
Like no Sour Patch Kids, no
No,
Twizzlers,
no. You, no.
I mean, there's definitely worse things to hate. Like that's probably that's a good.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's a positive health choice. But wow, no candy. Okay, all right. Do you have a hidden talent that nobody knows about?
I would say I'm really good at Sudoku.
Whoa!
Like really good.
But are you good at math?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Low key. So we need to get I'm surprised there's not a pro Sudoku league. There's got to be something out there. You could probably get online and like win some
It's me
championships.
and Marlo Dave. That's who it is. Me and Marlo.
Really?
From Team yes. When we were at World in Spain, every day we're comparing who did it faster. Yeah, we go at each other all the time. Sudoku. While we're on the bus, you'll look at our phones. We're both playing Sudoku.
Okay, I love it. I love it. You and 4 other players, all right? But we're on like outdoor. We're on the blacktop. Call your own fouls. First to 21, whatever, 3s and 2s, and then you get to pick a coach too. Who are you taking?
Okay.
Now, this can be your favorites, like your your girls. It could be your favorites all time. You take it how you want.
Okay, I thought this one. So I have me, obviously. And then I got my mom. She's like a knockdown shooter. It's crazy.
Yeah? Okay.
Like best shooter in the family for like forever until recently. So me, my mom. I got to get my dad in there. I mean, I guess he's kind of good at basketball, so he can go in there.
Okay.
And then my brother, he's like, I think he's better than my dad. I know he's better than my dad. At my dad's prime, better than my dad. I've never seen my dad at his prime. That's why I can say that. I wasn't there, but my brother's very good. So I got my family of 4, but nobody's really over 6 feet.
Yeah.
So I'm pulling Wemby. So we got Victor Wembanyama, and he is helping level us out. So that's who we got.
He's the defensive anchor. It's like we can pressure the ball enough. I get beat. We got this absolute freakazoid who can block shots with his armpits. Okay.
Exactly.
I like it.
Coach?
I like it. Yeah.
Coach, I'm going to have to go. You know what? I'm going to say Sila. Only because I know she'll just tell me to take whatever shots I want to take.
That's what I was going to say. She's going to definitely say shoot it before you turn it over, right?
Yeah.
Wow. I love it. Well played. Good stuff. All right. Dead or alive, you've got the best seat in the house. What concert are you going to see? Maybe a couple artists. Maybe you've seen them or want to see them. Who we got?
All right. I got to start off strong with Drake. I think that's a pretty common, obvious answer, you know.
Have you seen him yet?
I've never seen him in concert, but I've met him at an OVO game. So
what?
I feel like that kind of levels out a bit. Yeah.
That might be even better than seeing him, man. I mean, yeah, okay.
And
that's a big flex, ladies and gentlemen. That was a big flex right there. She just said, I haven't seen him live, but I did meet him. Like, wow, okay. Talk to him. Here we go.
I'm going to have to go with SZA.
Yes.
Pretty common answer too, but she makes some great music.
No.
No?
No.
Wow.
I mean,
I feel like a lot of people my age would say that.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
We go wireless, so I just use the music from on my phone in the PE class, and I let the kids, sometimes they just take my phone and add to queue, and there's always a SZA track in there for sure. She's legit though.
Oh, for sure. And then the last one,
no.
Justin Timberlake. I've like his shower. His music is perfect for showers. It's just
singing and just
belting it out.
And,
yeah.
How's the voice?
Is
the so the family's like, oh god.
Yeah. The shower covers up the noise.
Cut the water off. Yeah. I feel like he would sort of be like in that Michael Jackson, Beyonce, like full performance kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
The dancing, like all of it. I think, he would definitely, I believe he's going on tour again, I think, isn't he?
Really?
Yeah, I think he is.
Maybe I do got to go to that.
Yeah. Eli, do you want to say hi?
Hi.
This is Jasmine. Say hi.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We're almost done. And then we can play, okay?
Okay.
Okay, say bye.
Bye.
He's so cute.
Oh, we'll keep him around, I think. You just saw the PJ version. You don't see the trying to get out the door version. I told you you'd show up. Okay, what do we got? Okay, books or movies?
This one's tough because I actually really like reading, but I've kind of been slacking a bit, and I've actually been on the movies right now. So I'm going to have to say movies for now.
Okay. Is there something recently that you've watched, or is there a go back all timer that you're like, is there a safe space one that you're like, just going to throw this on?
It was Safe Space and
she got a big
recently.
smirk.
Yeah,
Oh,
like yesterday, Dive a Wimpy Kid. Those movies are great. I love them.
My kid, Eli, loves the books. The books are so
I
funny.
have all of them.
Yeah.
I've read all of them. Me and my brother. Yeah, amazing.
Rowley and the whole crew. I
Yep.
list them all. She likes Diary of the Wimpy Kid. See, our morning routine is come down and breakfast. Then we always read during breakfast. So he'll have breakfast and we read a book. And my wife and I find ourselves like, I'll be reading and I'm just like laughing my butt off, right?
They're great.
Because some of it's over his head too, right? So it's like it's funny stuff. And he's flipped on a couple of the movies and what is it? The Cheese Touch?
Oh yeah. On the pavement. Yep.
So good.
Yeah.
I love it. What a great you combine that, man. She's the whole package, ladies and gentlemen. This girl is ready. Let's go. I love it. Who have been some of the most important people in your life up to this point?
Obviously, my parents. I mean, raised me and my brother our whole lives. They're like the major players, major key in who we are today. So obviously, my parents for sure. But then I'd have to say my brother too. Just always watching him, being that younger sister, watching him play basketball, watching him around his friends, watching him, just playing around in the house. Like, he was always someone I wanted to be like best friends with. Like, I was one of those kids that was like, I want to marry my brother when I'm older. Like, I was obsessed with him. So it's just cool to see where he's at now. And it's, as we've grown older, we kind of had that stage where he was a teenager where I was still a bit young. So we weren't as close. But now that we're both older, we found some like common things to talk to each other about again. So yeah, definitely my brother for sure. Like, I miss him all the time.
That's cool. And I think it's even cool now going into the next phase of your life, having him gone through that too, right? It's just, you have that connection, but it's also someone. And I think sometimes you probably feel it. And I know I will with E when he's older, is like mums and dads are great, but sometimes it's like, just don't want to hear it from you,
Yeah.
And when you have that person who's been through it and is still young, that's a great connection to have. Love that. That's awesome. All right. 2 questions left. This one's pretty vital though.
Okay.
Now you may not be much into cereal anymore, but when you were younger, or maybe you are, I don't know. I don't know. We're a Lucky Charms family here, but what's the greatest cereal out there?
All right. So yeah, when I was younger, I definitely would have said Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, yeah. Or
drink the milk after.
Yep,
so good. Yeah.
Or like some like Cocoa Puff, something like that, where like the milk becomes like chocolate milk. But now I've moved on and I really like Honey Bunches of Oats.
Wow.
I had them today for breakfast. They're so good.
Honey Bunches of Oats. Wow, can't even remember. Let me give that a checkup here. Honey Bunches of Oats.
Delicious.
I feel like
Yeah, so good.
Just one bowl or?
Today was one bowl, but there's been times where it's been maybe 4. Like, I just can't stop. It's so good.
Wow. Okay. Fair. I love it. Give us the old school and the current. Good stuff. This has been an awesome episode. Thank you for being with us. Again, like I said at the start, I think it's so important for people to share stories, but I think someone who's young, you're so like, you have a will about you that I just feel through the podcast. Like, your energy is so positive and strong, but you seem like such a confident young woman. And I love that. I love that you know who you are and you're not afraid to let people know who you are in a good way.
Yeah.
Not in like, an egotistical way. You have a good way of how you carry yourself, and looking forward to seeing your career blossom and see what's next for you. Who would you like to see on a hoops journey? Obviously, this is how it works, right? We relay it, and Silas, I got someone for you. So, but you're the plug, you're the connect. So who's out there with a great story that wouldn't be like, nah, because some people aren't up for it, right? Some people are just, and I respect that. I get it. It's not their thing, but who do you think's out there that would be willing to hop on with us?
I'm going to have to go with my good friend, Delaney Gibb.
Okay.
Yep. Out in Alberta.
Yeah?
Yep.
Good. Awesome. And I love, because, we've had a lot of West Coast people on the show, but also I want, we're open to spreading it, and we haven't had enough Alberta what do we call those people? Albertans?
Albertans.
Yeah, there we go. So awesome. Okay, next up, we'll get her on. I'll
Doing
reach out to
good.
you. Yeah, there, she's ready. Awesome. Listen, thank you so much. Health, happiness to you and your family. Make sure you say hi to your dad for me.
Of course.
If he doesn't remember who I am, I'll be really, really disrespected.
He has a good memory. He'll remember.
Good. Any last thoughts, reflections for you? Keep doing what you're doing, representing, for the women, represent for you, your family, working hard, doing all the right things, making the good choices. Any last thoughts or ideas before we let you go?
I'm good, but thank you so much for this opportunity. I mean, it's great. It's great to, chat about these things with someone and learn about other Canadian basketball players. So it's been great to watch, the other episodes. So cool to see. So hopefully we can get Delaney on here. That'd be cool. But thank you so much for this opportunity.
No worries. We'll make it happen. It's a fun little thing for me, and I think it's more fun when we get people kind of younger they still have so many years ahead of them. And like I said, nothing but the best for you. Appreciate you taking the time on a Saturday morning, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we'll be watching, man.
Thank you so much.
Mad Love, episode 127. Great one in the books. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you to our sponsors. And we out.